Alright, this is Horizon Chase Turbo, a game you've probably heard of because a lot of big YouTubers seem to be doing like sponsored videos on this one about a year ago or whenever it came out. This obviously isn't sponsored. I paid like $5 for this game on Steam, and so let's check it out. This game is like a throwback to the golden age of 16-bit racing games. This is to racing games what Sonic Mania was to 16-bit Sonic games. And a lot of people say there's inspiration in this game from stuff like Outrun, Sega's Turbo, but for me it's mostly Top Gear 2 for the Super Nintendo. It's a game that I used to rent back in the day, and I loved that game. That game in itself was an evolution of the Lotus Turbo challenge games from the late 80s. Those were on the Amiga and the Mega Drive, and this is definitely an homage. The last car you unlock in this game is a Lotus Esprit, and to me I think that's a nod to the old Lotus Turbo challenge games. This game basically is plays identical to Top Gear 2. It's got the upbeat music, it's got the fast-paced action, but super simple controls. You got the nitro bursts, and even down to the little word bubbles when you pass other cars or you get past. It's clearly taken a lot of inspiration from one of my favorite racing games from the 16-bit era. This game is a throwback for me as well because I'm playing it with a keyboard, and that's how I played a lot of PC racing games back in the 90s. Need for Speed 2, Porsche Unleashed. There's a lot of racing games that I played on the PC in the 90s and did so using a keyboard, and the keyboard actually works really good. Your arrow key reactions, especially toggling left from right, is really quick. And because the controls are so simple in this game, you're really just using the arrow keys and spacebar. Spacebar is your nitro boost, and that's it. There's no drifting, there's no changing gears. It's really simple. There is basic modding, not that unsimilar from Top Gear, where you basically just upgrade your turbo or your nitro and your suspension. Basic mods, you just apply them. They apply to all your cars. You just unlock really basic mods. I'd say this game is well worth the normal $20 asking price. I waited for it to go on sale because I'm sort of cheap, but there's a lot of variety in this game. There's a lot of cars. This is obviously looks like it's a BMW I'm in right now, and obviously nothing's licensed. They didn't get any official licenses, but tell me that's not a Honda NSX. They didn't even try to hide what the cars look like. It's so clear what they all are. Old Dodge Chargers, there's Veyrons and AE86s for crying out loud. So obviously they're car guys, and a lot of awesome variety in the cars. In Top Gear 2 you couldn't even pick your car. You could change the color of it, but that was about it. All the cars on the track looked the same. There's a lot of variety in this one, in the cars and in the tracks. I've been playing the game for about 2 hours now. I've unlocked about 5 cars, and I've played on, probably 10 tracks or courses that all look fairly different. Obviously there's a pretty flat aesthetic. Look at the buildings in this level. Tell me that's not is that a nod to Turbo? The way those buildings are scaling in. Something awkward about the way they scale, but it looks just like the old game Turbo from the arcades. Yeah, again, this is obviously a Dodge Viper. There's a lot of awesome cars in this game, and they've got a sense of humor. This is the fastest car I've unlocked so far, and I think it's called the Cable Guy. It's got a really high acceleration, and but it guzzles back gas. Gas You do run out of fuel in this game. You got to pick up fuel on the track. Is that just like Top Gear? I can't remember. But there's little blue tokens on the track you can pick up. You get a bonus if you pick up all of them on the track. So they don't respawn like each lap. So, you know, most races you have 3 laps. So you have 3 laps to try and remember where those blue coins are and get them all. But again, there's enough variety in the backgrounds. You know, I almost lost track of the course here because I was looking at the background to look at all the you know, the boats in the water. It's primitive graphics, but they work and they're sharp and everything moves really smoothly and fast. By default, VSync isn't on, and I'm not sure if it's a locked frame rate, to be honest. I never checked. I'm playing this on a 144 hertz monitor, and it looks smooth. So it's either a really good smooth 60 or it's maybe unlocked. But yeah, anyways, it's definitely a fun game. So far, it's well worth the $5 I paid for it. I can definitely recommend it pretty easily. It's available on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox, and I would assume it runs good on all those systems, but I'm playing it on PC. And anyways, that's it. See you later.